Hey guys, I want to jump on before we get started with our first week, or first day, I guess you'd say, of our 12 weeks of Christmas. So every week on Tuesday, you'll receive an email with a video showing how we're going to make our whatever I decide, whether it's a card or a treat bag or a gift card holder or something Christmas related. But you'll also receive the PDF in a sheet in PDF form that will also have the measurements and cutouts and the supplies that I used. And then that way you can create the same one, or you can go ahead and try your own creation way. And can't wait to see what you come up with. So today we're going to learn how to make this one right here, and this is the landscape front flap fold. So it's just a real simple fold like this. Of course, I kept the inside blank, but you can make a stamp or leave the inside to put your own description or wishing well and all the things. But I'm also going to do heat embossing on here, so it's going to be so cool. And bear with me with these videos because I'm in trial and error, and you get to watch it all in action, okay? So let me turn this down so that you can see what we got going here. Hopefully it's straight enough that you can do all the things and have good lighting. All right. So I already pre-cut my pieces of cardstock. I have a piece of Real Red, and I have got it cut at 11 by 4 1/4. I also took a piece of the Whisper White cardstock, and that one's going to be cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to take a piece of Garden Green, and the Garden Green is cut at 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then I've got another smaller piece of the Real Red cardstock that I have cut at 4 and 2 1/4. And I took a window sheet, and on this window sheet I cut it the same size as the Real Red. And I'll show you. You might be able to see the little shimmer glim on it, but I put that on top of this just to kind of give it an extra little bit of glam. So what do you think? Cute, right? So first, let me set these to the side. Oh, you'll also need 4 designer paper. You're going to cut 4 pieces, and it's 2 1/2 by 4, but you'll need 4 of them. And actually, I think I'll flip it on this side, this one, because last time I used this side on this card. So let's just change it up a little bit and see how it turns out with the little candy cane stripes. I think that'll be something fun. This is using the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper. So let me get my scorer over here, and I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to put it in the scoring, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4 by 8 1/4. So let me get this done up for you real quick. Let me move that blade out of the way. We definitely do not want to cut her. All right. So 2 3/4 by 8 1/4. And then we're done with that. So now you got your little score lines, and then it folds in half, just so. All right, let me find my bone folder so that I can push these down. All right, and then I'm going to take set this over here, and I'm going to take my little designer papers, and I'm going to get my little Stampin' Seal and add a little bit to the back so that I can attach them to the 2 folds. But let's go ahead and, well, if I can keep my adhesive rolling long enough, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of them, so then that way we have it out of the way. One more. All right. Uh-oh, that's not supposed to happen. Then I take this piece back down and I will stick them right on the top of each fold. Let's see if any of these, yeah, let me flip it around so that way it lines up. Perfect. And then I'm gonna open, and then that's your outside. And then I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna put the other two on the inside of the card. Like so. So now you got it on the inside or the outside and the end. Let's go ahead and attach this inside. Now I would suggest if you're going to stamp on it, then go ahead and do that before you attach it to the inside. That way if you mess up, you can always flip it over and try one more time. That's always something. Stamp before you attach it. That way you have 2 tries and you don't end up wasting your cardstock thinking that you need to put another one on. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to actually, because we're only attaching it with one side, right? So I'm going to put some adhesive on half of this piece of cardstock here. Now if you need to, you can line it up on your card so that you don't go too far over on the other side, because you don't want to, you know, you don't want to stick it together, because that would, well, this little booger. All right, yeah, that lets me have a line, and that way we don't mess it up before we ever get started, right? And then I just push that down. Now, here's the fun part with the heat embossing. Set this to the side. I'm gonna put my clear sheet over there to keep it out of the way. And I'm actually using 2 stamps from the Sweet Candy Cane stamp set. We're going to be using the Merry and Bright and the little piece of mistletoe. So I've got them already on their blocks. Now I've got my Stampin' Buddy here, so I'm gonna rub on here because I'm fixing to put all of that stuff on there, and it'll help when I pour the powder on for it not to attach. Then I've got my Versamark, which this is it's like a watermark that you can use. Got that Stampin' Buddy stuff everywhere. I'm actually going to do it this way because it's a longer stamp and I want to ensure that I get all my words on it. And I'm going to line it up with my lines just because I want to go for I'm going to get it right the first time. Yay! And now it stamps on here clear. I got a little bit on the edge, but you see it's clear. And while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and take the little mistletoe, and I'm going to just put it on each corner just to give it a little extra bam so it ain't so plain. I hope I stamped that hard enough because I got to get my powder to stick. Let me set this to the side, and then when we get my tray out here, you see I already have some white powder in it. But this is some white Stamp Emboss powder. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some on the top here, make sure that all the little pieces that I got on there get covered. And the great thing with the little tray is it catches all your extra, so you're not wasting it. You can just tap it off once you've got it all on there, and then you can, it has a little hole where you can pour it back in your container. Pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna blow on it, and actually, you can see where I have gotten, where I rolled my stamp. And actually, it probably not, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm going to hopefully get this to come off without messing it up. We'll see. It's definitely something to play with. And I might, you know, there's a little bit, a few extra ones. And the thing is, if you don't want those little spricks or sprinkles of it to show up, you got to make sure you get them off. Because otherwise, when you heat it up, it's going to dry on there. Now, it's going to be loud for just a minute, but it'll go really quickly. And if you can watch, you can see it melt. As the heat embossing, or as the powder heats up, it melts onto the card. And now it's real bright. I love it. Heat embossing is probably one of my favorite things. Just makes everything look so fancy. Put the lid back on this. That would be disastrous. Now, the cardstock's kind of warm, but it's not like too bad. And then that just instantly dries, so you can rub across it, and super fun. I'm going to take some dimensions, flip it over, and put on each corner, because you know everything is like fun with dimensions. Sometimes we get carried away with dimensions. I don't know about you, I do. So I like that extra pow in there. And then I'm just going to center it up on top of the garden green. Push down. So now you've got, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Now I'm going to take these fun little things right here, the sticky dots, or better known as like snot dots. But I'm going to use the little pick tool. Y'all, please don't mind my fingernails, because we had a long weekend. It was a fun weekend. We had a good long weekend, but I have not had time to like get all the things done up. Okay. Putting these on for the window sheet, because that way you'll be able to see them, but they're actually, you know, it just kind of gives them makes them look a little bit more invisible. Get those little suckers off. Then I'll take the window sheet and I'm going to add it to the top. I think I've got embossing powder everywhere. Line it up on top of the red cardstock. Now you can still kind of see them on the edge corners. So I love these things. The adhesive backed sequins collection. They're so cute. But I ended up putting these on top of it. And I think I might go with gold this time instead of green. What do y'all think? Let's see. But these are also in the Holiday Mini catalog, along with the stamp set and the Designer Series paper, which is probably been one of my favorite ones that's came out so far. There's so many adorable things in there. It's so much fun stuff to make with. And voila! So, you have two different ones made out of the same designer paper, just flipped them over. But I mean, you can see they're super endless on how you can do them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to, I hope it inspired you, and I will be back next week with a new tutorial on how to make something brand new. And thank you for joining in on my exclusive email of 12 Weeks of Christmas.